Okay, before we get into the exciting stuff, I have to do a quick bit of Mil Geekachu housekeeping first. The star of the show will undoubtedly be my new Loco, and there'll be plenty of nice shots of that. But before I get to playing trains, I have an important little job to do first. It's time to take stock of what pieces of track I actually have, so that I can start seriously planning my first layout design. The core pieces of my tiny collection is, of course, the parts that I have from my purchase of the KATO M1 starter set loop, and I will be building off that to create my layout. The main issue I have in collecting all the track that I need for even the most modest of layout ideas that I have brewing is the number of turnouts, that's points to wee Brits, that I will require to make even the simplest but still entertaining model railway work for me. Here's a couple of quite basic ideas that I've been considering. These are from the KATO USA website track plan selection. Obviously, I'm constricted by the available space I have, and I'll be using today's test setup to get a rough idea what size of baseboard I'll be building. But it'll be the number of quite expensive KATO turnouts that will dictate the complexity of my first layout. Okay, that out the way, let's get to the really interesting part of this short video and look at some of the new to me, rolling stock that I now have. Now, I have to confess, I'm no eBay Jedi. I'm hopeless at winning bids and always seem to get gazumped at the last minute by those eBay pros out there. But I'm very pleased to say that over the past month or so, I've managed to win a couple of auctions and picked up 2 bits of rolling stock that are important to my freight railway ambitions. The first of these is an awesome diesel Loco, my first big Loco in fact. So far, my only running Loco has been my cutesy little KATO pocket-lined steeple shunter, and as much as I've been very happy with this tiny little Loco, I don't intend it to be my sole train, if you'll excuse the pun. I actually have a vague notion of having a couple of small shunters running on my local line element of my final layout. The main line track running past it will have appearances by one of the larger diesel freight trains, plus a commuter unit running back and forth. Like I say, this is a very sketchy plan. So, I've had my eye on one of these JNR Class DE10 diesel hydraulic locomotives since I first decided I wanted to build a Japanese themed layout. I really think they're a handsome loco and I love the colour scheme. They were built between 1966 and 1978, so suit my layout's time span, and this particular KATO model is the cold climate version intended for Japan's northern prefecture of Hokkaido, which again is what I have in mind as the hypothetical location of my model railway layout. I was elated to win this bargain auction on eBay, but typically I found out why it was such a bargain when it arrived. It ran like an arthritic tortoise. It was obvious even to me that it was well used and was in desperately need of an overhaul and a good clean. But as I know nothing about maintaining model trains, I had to send the poor Loco off to someone who actually did know what they were doing and have some work done. Extra expense. Anyway, she's back now and running nicely, although bits keep falling off. So not the fantastic bargain I was hoping for, but I'm still exceptionally pleased. Right, onwards and upwards. A Loco isn't a train without something it can pull, and because my layout is primarily a freight heavy railway, I knew I needed some extra wagons to add to my pitiful collection. Again, I managed to win an eBay auction somehow, and snagged this nice little triple set of Kaiwai Type 8000 coal and limestone hoppers. These wagons first appeared on Japanese railways in 1952, so it fits well in my late 1960s era themed layout. It's also great to snatch up 3 wagons in one go so cheaply, but the downside is Kaiwai, if that's how you pronounce it, model companies, I believe, no longer in business. So these particular models are a little rare. I'll have to hope that I can get something similar from the likes of KATO or Tomitech if I want longer freight trains of a similar type. And finally, I'm indeed a lucky fella this month, as I also received a little package from my brother, who is, by the way, a lot better at this eBay thing than I am, so keeps an eye out for stuff that would interest me. Big thanks, bro. It's a wee collection of useful bits and bobs, including much appreciated little sections of track, and by sheer coincidence a very handy KATO turnout. This is the Unitrack 12.6cm left facing turnout, model 20220, so I can now tick that off my track wish list. Hooray! And that's it for this episode of Milgeekachoo. Hopefully I'll be going into my layout planning in much more detail the next time. But in the meantime, thanks so much for watching and putting up with my rambling. Take care, and I'll speak to you again soon. Ta-ra for now.